Hi everyone, welcome to High Vibrational Energy. I'm your host Katie O'Connell and today's episode is called 5 Ways to Raise Your Vibration. This topic is honestly my life. It's my life's work. This is what I've spent the past 6 years doing. Your energy is so important. Your energy speaks before your mouth does. And there's certain things that you can do to raise your vibration. So I'm just going to tell you the 5 main things that I've done to help me raise my vibe over the years. Let me just tell you why it's so important first. Every single one of us is emitting a frequency. Whether you're aware of it or not, it's happening. How you think turns into how you feel. How you feel creates your emotions. Your emotions create your vibration, and your vibration will either attract things towards you or repel things away from you. Your inner world reflects your outer world. So at the start of my self-development journey, I didn't know about this, and I was trying to manifest things, but nothing was working. I thought I was doing all the right things. I was journaling, I was writing my goals down, I was making the vision boards, yet nothing seemed to be manifesting. And I was getting frustrated because I knew that manifestation worked, so why wasn't it working for me? But I didn't lose faith. I just realised that it's because I'm just an amateur manifester. I've got more stuff to learn. And then I realised it was all about my energy. It was about the frequency that I was emitting. I was asking for a better life, but I didn't actually feel worthy of it inside. My nervous system was constantly in stress mode, and you can't attract at one level when you're vibrating at another. So today, I want to share with you the biggest things that genuinely have raised my frequency. So number 1, you have to check your circle. This one is huge. The people that you spend the most of your time with can either raise you up or lower you down. If you're around people that are unmotivated, complaining, drama, gossip, chaos, you're going to end up like that without even realising. Whereas if you surround yourself with people that are kind-hearted, growth-minded, people you can trust, supportive people that are going to build you up rather than knock you down, that's going to instantly raise your vibration. Energy is so contagious, and most people don't even realise that they're negative or that they're constantly just slagging other people off or complaining or moaning. They don't even realise that that's what they're doing. They're just running off the programming. But if you're around that, you will get sucked into that energy. Not everyone can come to the next level with you. Sometimes you have to shed parts of your old life for a new life. And it's nothing personal. It's just about protecting your own energy. You don't have to be a people pleaser. Your nervous system cannot thrive in a draining environment. Sometimes growth means having to make big decisions like changing jobs, ending a relationship, moving out, creating distance between people, or even cutting people off. Prioritise protecting your energy because it's the most precious thing that you own. Number 2 is you need to have gratitude. Now, I know we've heard it all before. Be grateful, write your gratitude list. And when I first started on my journey, that's what I was doing. I was writing my gratitude list, but I didn't actually know why I was writing it. I was just writing things that I was grateful for without even realising why it was so important. Now I know why it's so important. Gratitude literally retrains your brain. It's so easy to focus on what's wrong, especially if you live in England. Grey skies, traffic, stress, work. We all have our own daily problems, and our brains are wired to look for threats. So unless you consciously look for good things, your brain will just drift over to the bad things. But when you write 2 or 3 things that you're actually grateful for and you actually feel them, you're training your brain to look for the good. No matter how bad your life might feel, there's always so much to be grateful for. And if you've never tried doing this before, you might think, what have I got to be grateful for? But when you really think about it, there's so many things. Like, even if you can just take a hot shower in the morning, do you know how many people in this world don't have access to even clean water, let alone hot water? That's a luxury. If you have a bed, if you have a phone, if you have Wi-Fi, that's all a luxury. There's so many people that don't even have a bed to sleep in. Oh, it's raining. The little things that we take for granted every day, that is the abundance that we're missing out on. This is how I reprogram my mind to only look for the good. I focused on the good, I looked for the good, and I gave thanks for the good. And then more good started to appear. It's like magic. In your brain, you've got a reticular activating system, which basically filters out everything. But when you focus on something, your brain will show you more of that. So if you're focusing on problems, you will see more problems. If you're focusing on blessings, you'll see more blessings. Imagine You bought someone a really nice, thoughtful, expensive gift that you'd wrapped really nicely. You couldn't wait to give it to them. You gave it to them, and they didn't even say thanks. In fact, they moaned about it. They said it wasn't good enough. Would you want to give that person a gift again? No, you wouldn't. Now imagine your life is that gift. The universe gave you all this, and you want to moan? You want to complain? And you still want more? Be grateful for what you've got. That is the key. Right, number 3, be mindful of what you consume. Everything that you consume affects your energy field. So the music that you listen to, what you're watching on TV, the conversations that you're having, what you're scrolling on social media, what you're eating, what you're drinking, all of it affects your energy, especially music. Music is way more than just a beat. Music's frequency, its rhythm, its intention, it's the lyrics that get stuck in your head. Music can lift you up instantly, or it can lower you down. Some people love to listen to sad, depressing songs and just sit there and have a cry. Those people are addicted to being sad, and if you're doing that regularly, it's going to lower your vibe regularly. If you change your music, you can change your mood. This is why I've always loved house music and tech house, because whenever I'm feeling low vibrational, and by the way, we're allowed to be low vibrational. It's not like you want a high vibe all the time. You can't be, especially us girls. We have our hormones. But if I notice myself being low vibe, I will go and put my favourite music on, and it'll instantly raise my spirits. This is why I've always loved house music. Ever since high school, I've always loved it because it makes me feel excited, it makes me happy, it makes me dance, it makes me smile, like it just makes me feel good. But there's loads of different types of music that's high vibrational that can make you feel good. Reggae's high vibrational, Afro beats, Afro house, even things like classical. 432 hertz is actually designed to regulate your nervous system. Music is meant to be healing, so you can let it heal you. You'll know if music is high vibrational or low vibrational by the way it makes you feel. Some music can make you feel like being violent. Some music can make you feel sad. Just notice how your body feels when you're listening to music, because it's really important. And the same goes for what you're watching on TV. If you love to watch things like the news, which is just so negative, you're going to be instantly putting yourself in a negative state. They want you watching negative things. They want you talking about the negativity in the world because it's designed to keep you in a low vibrational state. Where's the news about all the good stuff that happens? Where's the news about that? I never see any good news that's broadcasted. I follow a page on Instagram, I can't remember what it's called, but it's only good news. And it's things like, billionaire buys 400 acres of rainforest to stop the trees from being cut down. This animal is now no longer extinct, or whatever it is. It's good news. And we need more of that. If you want to be the most positive version of yourself, you need to flood your mind with positivity, not negativity. You've got to protect your mind like it's sacred, because it is. So I had an awakening in COVID, right? And my body just naturally started to reject low vibrational things. So I just naturally went off fast food. I cannot eat fast food now. It makes me feel sick for days. Fast food is not even food. It's awful. It's not even food. You're just eating cancer-causing shit. And I also went off drinking alcohol as well. It's been 2 years and 9 months since I stopped drinking alcohol. And I can honestly say I've never been so clear-minded, sharp, confident, and just in alignment. I used to have the worst anxiety ever. It got that bad that it got to the point where I felt like I needed to go and get medication for it, which is so unlike me. If you know me, you know I will never go near the pharmaceutical industry because that's a story for another day. But I'll never even take paracetamol, right? But I just couldn't get rid of this anxiety, and I was like, I'm going to have to numb myself with something. But then before I decided to do that, I thought, actually, let me just track this anxiety and let me see when it's the most bad, what was I doing that day? What was I eating? What was I drinking? Who was I around? And then the pattern became really obvious. It was alcohol. The anxiety that I had, not just the next day, but for the whole week after, was so bad. That negative voice in my head was loud after drinking. The overthinking, the feeling like I've overshared, the racing thoughts, feeling fatigued all the time, feeling tired, not going to the gym, craving fatty, bad foods. And then one day I just had to ask myself, is this really worth it? Is one night of drinking really worth sacrificing a full week of health? And when I really weighed up the pros and cons to drinking, I genuinely couldn't think of one pro to drinking. People say it helps them with stress. And yeah, at the time, maybe it does numb you for a little bit whilst you're drunk. But the next day and the next week, I was way more stressed. People say it helps them with confidence. I have way more confidence now I'm not drinking. People say it helps them have fun and they don't feel like they can have a good time without it. First of all, have you ever tried having a good time without alcohol? Have you ever tried finding joy from something that isn't drinking? Because there are so many things that you can do that don't involve drinking alcohol that are still fun. And it was difficult at first to quit. I never really craved alcohol. I've never really been a massive drinker, but it was just more what being out with everyone and people saying, oh, go on, just have one. And it was the saying no to people that was the hardest. Now everyone knows that I don't drink. And it's not until you stop drinking that you realise how alcohol is so widely accepted around the world. Yeah, it's probably the worst one, you know. Like, it really is. People don't feel like they can socialise without it. Everyone relies so heavily on it. Yet it tears families apart. It ruins relationships. It's so bad for your health. It ages you really badly. To me, there was nothing good about it. And it's crazy because I remember when I used to drink, I never even used to dance when I was out. I used to be too self-conscious of what everyone was thinking. I used to think, oh, everyone's looking at me. Now, I'm the first one on the dance floor. My friends have noticed how much more confident I am now that I'm not drinking. Because when your mind is clear, your intuition gets louder, your vibration is lifted, you've not got toxins in your body anymore, you're not constantly recovering from the poison, your nervous system can actually regulate itself. And you don't have to quit completely like me, but if you are serious about raising your vibration, then just take a look at your relationship with alcohol. Is it elevating you or is it draining you? Right, number 4. And this one is so important, I will never stop talking about this one. Speak to yourself kindly. This is the secret sauce. You can remove alcohol, you can change your circle, you can write your gratitude lists, but how are you speaking to yourself? Because you can lower your own vibe just by the way that you speak to yourself. Just like you check the people that are around you, you need to check yourself too. A lot of people don't like to spend time on their own, or we have so many distractions around us, TV, social media, music, podcasts, all these distractions all the time. We never actually have any time to sit there with our own thoughts. And so many people don't like silence, but this is actually the key. And I like to do this when I'm driving. I just have no music on. I just like to drive in silence. And then I like to let all the thoughts just come through. And I like to see what's going on up there. When you actually let the thoughts come through and you can see what's going on up there, that's when you can start to change it. But if you're constantly blocking out what's on your mind with distractions all the time, you can't change it. Are you telling yourself that you're behind in life? Are you replaying mistakes, replaying conversations? Do you feel like you're not successful enough, not attractive enough? What is it that's going on up there? Because that inner dialogue creates your emotional state, and your emotional state creates your frequency. When you catch yourself saying something negative about yourself, just notice it and then replace it. We don't often say kind things to ourselves. When was the last time you said something nice about yourself? If you're someone that says things like, I always mess up, you can just change it to, I'm learning from my mistakes. Or if you feel like you're a failure, which is definitely something that I struggled with for years, especially that week before I came on, I just always felt like I was a massive failure. Now I change it to, I'm one step closer to where I need to be. Or if you feel like you're not good enough, you can say, I'm becoming better every day. Positive affirmations honestly changed the game for me. Like, I can't even tell you how powerful they are. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. So you've got to start by changing the negative thoughts about yourself into positive thoughts. Self-awareness is your power. You can't change what you don't notice. Right, number 5, romanticize your life. This is something that I only just learned a couple of years ago, but it's really helped me to enjoy life more and stress less. Because I feel like a lot of us wish our lives away. We say things like, I'll be happier when I've lost weight, or I'll be happier when I'm in a relationship, or I'll be happier when I do whatever. But really, you're just delaying your happiness. You can choose to be happy now. And that is actually the key to how you're going to get the thing that you want. When you find joy in the small things, you instantly raise your vibration. Even like just having your morning coffee in the morning, rather than rushing around and trying to down it, if you just get up a little bit earlier and have more of like a slow morning and just really like enjoy that coffee and just enjoy the little small things in your life, because that's what life is. Life is small moments. It's not the big moments. It's the small moments that make up every single day. And I know it's so much harder in England. We always wish winter away and we just want to live for the summer, the 2 weeks that we actually get of summer. But if you can start to try and find joy in the small things, that is going to raise your vibration. Let me give you an example. So every summer, me and my boyfriend drive to Ibiza for the summer. And I didn't used to like road trips. I used to be like, oh, it's so long. It takes 2-3 days to get there. We've got the ferry, And I didn't really moan about it, but in my head, I'd just be like, oh, I can't be arsed with this drive. Like, I just want to be there. And it wasn't until, not last year, but the year before, I decided that actually I'm going to really enjoy this road trip. I'm going to try and really enjoy it. And I took every single moment of the road trip in, and I had such a good time. Like, now I actually look forward to the road trip because so much happened along the way. It was such an adventure. And by the way, how lucky am I that I get to drive to Ibiza for the summer? Like, that is crazy. Like, I didn't realize how lucky I was. I had to really pull myself out of that mindset that I can't be arsed, I just want to be there. Now I'm like, I look forward to the road trip. Like, the road trip is one of the best parts now, but it never used to be for me. So just little things like that, just changing your mindset around things and just trying to find the joy in everything, because there is so much joy in life. You just have to look for it. You create your own joy, you create your own happiness. And when you take control of your thoughts, you can take control of your life. That is the motto that I live by. Right, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and send it to someone that could really do with the vibe lifting. I drop new episodes every Friday, so follow me on Instagram if you want updates. It's highvibrational_energy, and I will see you next week. Stay high vibe.